Okay, hi, house contemplation. Excuse my messy house at the moment, but yeah, I've been busy working, so can't do everything, man. Can't do everything. Okay, so I better just get this down while I can. Think about it because I'll probably forget about it. And also, oh, yeah, my brain's getting a bit full. So, I did speak to Spirit, and I did that thing where I just say, Spirit, talk to me. And I got these words: whistle bubble. Whistle bubble. Okay. A lot of this is usually a connection to the last thing. But anyway, so then I got whistle bubble, whistle Bartholomew. I'm like, okay, whistle Bartholomew is fairly specific. So there's a book by Dr. Seuss who has Bartholomew in it, and he blows a secret whistle to summon royal magicians. I've got to read that book, I think. But then it just got me thinking, okay, it's like a secret. It's like a secret whistle. Secret whistle. And then because I've been talking to Spirit about Cockney rhyming slang, I was like, oh, okay, is there like a secret whistle language in the world? So I looked up secret whistle language. There is a secret whistle language where they talk to each other through whistling. It's really strange. You should look it up. It's weird. But that whistle language is not their actual language, just like with Cockney rhyming slang. It's a language invented to hide what they're saying to each other when outsiders or people that they don't want to understand you are around, or oppressors. So they okay, so this is where the connection came in. The rhyming Cockney slang and the whistle language. Those languages are called anti-languages. They're languages which hide true meaning. But there is a mother tongue, right? There is a language that they are based on. So Cockney rhyming slang is based on English, and the whistle language is based on the language that they speak. But I think the tones represent specific letters, and so basically you're spelling out words. I think this is right. You're spelling out words when you do this whistle language. I mean, that also goes over long distances, the whistle language. So you can speak to each other over long distances. But it's not the full language. It's just a language to help you say urgent messages. I'll get to the reasoning behind this. It's freaking blew my mind. It's just the language that helps you say urgent messages while you're being watched by oppressors. Okay, so I got that. So then we went on that little merry-go-round. So the perfect anti-language is the perfect reversal of the parent language. Humans would take the raw concepts. Oh, then I felt like, okay, oh, my notes are everywhere again. It's a secret whistle, the secret whistle language. So then I was saying, okay, oh, right, so an anti-language, right, is a clandestine communication systems intentionally designed to protect information from outsiders. And then I kind of felt Spirit say, all spoken language is an anti-language. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Stop. So, all spoken language is like the anti-language, like the whistle language and Cockney rhyming slang. Yes. I said, well, what's it coming from? What's it actually coming from? And then it was like, okay, it is telepathy. You had a telepathic language. It was the universal language. It was telepathic language. But I was like, why? What? Hang on. That's not right. Because even if you were speaking a language with your spoken tongue, you would still be able to read telepathy. Like, you wouldn't be hiding anything. Like, okay, if we all had telepathy and the universal language was telepathy and we were like being oppressed by some other, I don't know, people, and so we invented spoken language as our anti-language to get away with things, then they would still understand us because they could still read our mind. And so I said that to Google. I said, Google, there's no way this could happen because telepathy, you'd still see it. And then Google said, theoretically, if there was telepathy, that's actually not true. Spoken language would block it. And it gave me a whole explanation. Let me see. I think I wrote it down, but I'm getting sick of writing things down. So I don't know if I wrote it down properly, but I'll read it. The perfect reversal of the parent language, which is telepathy. Humans would take the raw concept of telepathy and artificially code them into chunky physical sound waves to create a barrier. The physical clocking device, an anti-language, is designed to create a boundary against an oppressor or outsider. If telepathy is the norm, spoken language becomes a powerful weapon of privacy. Blocking an alien or species, an oppressive government, or AI could monitor or read human telepathic brainwaves. Speaking out loud would completely bypass their radar, creating something. I can't read my own writing. Creating sound waves travel slowly and fade quickly compared to instant telepathy. This physical limitation would be a feature, not a bug. It would allow humans to pass localized secrets right under the nose of a telepathic monetary system. I was like, I don't reckon that's true though, because they would still hear the words in my head. But that's the thing, there are no words in your head. The words in your head are not a word invented to describe a concept that is condensed. Okay, I think Google explained it better. In theoretical sci-fi or biological systems, spoken language could block telepathy through the concept of neurological bandwidth. Speaking out loud forces your brain to redirect its processing power, effectively cluttering or masking the telepathic signal. Telepathy requires the brain to process abstract thoughts, intents, and concepts. Spoken language requires massive physical coordination. How it blocks. When you speak, your brain must actively fire signals to your lungs, vocal cords, tongue, and lips. The result, the intense physical motor activity creates a massive amount of neurological noise to an outside telepath. Your clear, readable thoughts are suddenly drowned out by the loud, chaotic static of your brain managing speech. Concrete words versus abstract concepts. Telepathy generally reads the meaning behind a thought before it becomes words. Yeah, so like even thinking about that, my brain started to hurt because I'm like, okay, because words actually trap the words freeze. Words freeze words freeze the concept. Anyway, I think Google explains it more. Behind a thought before it becomes a word. Spoken language forces a thought into a rigid linear box. Okay, that's a better way to say it. Yeah. So spoken language forces a thought into a rigid linear box. How it blocks. By forcing your thoughts into a specific English words or any spoken language, it compresses a multi-dimensional concept into a single string of sound. That's true. The telepath can no longer read your deep subconscious intentions. They can only read the specific superficial word you are actively formulating in your prefrontal cortex. It turns your mind from a transparent window into a solid wall with a small speaker on it. It turns your mind from a transparent window into a solid wall with a small speaker on it. Oh, giving us the ability to lie as well. So if our mind was a transparent window, it's now, because of spoken language, a solid wall with a small speaker on it. And we created it as our anti-language to hide what we were doing, to be able to communicate with each other whilst hiding what we're doing to outsiders. I said, well, couldn't you read telepathy while speaking? Biologically and structurally, no. You would be functionally deaf to telepathy while speaking. Because both systems rely on the same internal cognitive hardware, you would face severe processing lag. It would work exactly like human hearing and speech. Whew. So, I think that all the wrap up of this Cockney rhyming slang, I think Spirit's just trying to get me to understand. And then I was like, because of the Tower of Babel, our languages got muddled. And the Spirit said, not quite right. Not quite right. You guys created the anti-language. It didn't just get given to you as a muddle. And I was thinking, yeah, because when I read the story about the Tower of Babel, why you have to muddle our languages to stop us building a tower? Why not just knock the freaking tower down? Why are you saying that you muddled our languages? Because you didn't muddle our languages. We made that language. We made an anti-language so that you can understand us. Whoever that oppressor was. That's what I think. I think, Spirit sort of said, yeah, that's You made that anti-language up so that you could talk to each other without being found out. Not that they muddled your language. That was just their explanation. Okay, well, so yeah. So there's that. There's English is the anti-language. We don't even remember our mother language. It's like if someone just is talking in Cockney rhyming slang the whole time and they can't remember it comes from a bigger language. It's been condensed into a smaller language for urgency and for quick communication when an oppressor's there. But it's not the fullness of the language. Just like spoken language is not the fullness of telepathic understanding. Because also it doesn't include feeling, emotion, whole body. It doesn't include any of that like telepathy did. But then it also kind of made me think about written language too, because that's even worse, like for communication, because you can't even pick up tonal, emotional additions. It's just code on a screen. I mean, at least with spoken language, you do have to, there is some kind of, there's gestures and there's tone. There's more dimensions than just a string of code, right? But written language is really bad for communication. Written language is the worst for communication. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, well, that's a big thing. So we're speaking the anti-language. We don't even remember the actual language where it came from, which, given that 98% of our DNA is junk DNA, that makes sense. Because most anti-languages are probably condensed down into 2% of what the actual mother language is. Granted. Okay, so then Spirit was saying circus elite. So I looked up and there is a book which is called Circus Elite. Well, Circus versus the Elite. It's like a Reddit kind of book, but then they turned it into another series called Worm. But it's about this character named Circus who has superpowers, becomes a supervillain by accident. And the elite are trying to recruit Circus, but Circus is trying to get away from the elite. But the connection is that this character, Circus, got superpowers through trauma. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to read the series Worm. It is on Spotify. It's a book series called Worm, but it came from Circus and the Elite. So it's in the same superhero universe. So I think Spirit's trying to talk to me about superpowers. What we would call superpowers. And then I got finger flying. I was like, finger flying? So I looked that up, but I didn't get anything, really. And then Spirit said, no, Fingal. It's like, oh, Fingal. Okay, so Fingal is a legendary Celtic hero. He's got many superpowers. I said, what's the flying part? Then it was like, okay, you do like Spirit was saying, you do realize Fingal is your ancestor. I was like, what's this now? God dang. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Because he lost his parents, but he did have an auntie whose name was Bo. Anyway, I always had like this vision of my one ancestor way, way, way back who takes care of me, and she has red hair. And then when I looked up this Bo auntie who looked after Fingal, she looks exactly like my vision. Like, I mean, a cartoon form, obviously, but it's like the exact kind of. I was like, okay. And she's my ancestor. Yes, she's your ancestor. That's kind of cool though. Like, that was kind of fun. So what happened also, I was like, what's the flying bit? So Fingal had like an army, I guess. And when members of this army was so traumatized in battle, they suddenly developed the ability to fly. They grew feathers and flew up in trees, and it took trauma to activate this in them. So it seems like trauma plays a part in developing some of these extrasensory, I don't know, would you call it extrasensory abilities? So love your trauma. Love your trauma. Anyway. Bo Hamel is the auntie. Bo Hamel. She was really fierce. So yeah. And then I was thinking, God, are they trying to traumatize us to get our powers out of us? Isn't something like that happened in the Umbrella Company? Like, the dad used to traumatize them to activate powers? So, don't know. That's what I have. There's a few things, like, I'm gonna read that Bartholomew and the Oublette. It's about this slime that he has to defeat. It's by Dr. Seuss. Bartholomew and the Oublette, something. Oh. And also this series called Worm, which is on Spotify, which you can listen to on Spotify, which comes from a Reddit, like a Reddit story, which was called Circus and the Elite, which you can read Circus and the Elite. It's 20 pages long. It's on somewhere in Reddit. I'm going to read that too. And then the other one is The Legend of Fingal, 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 who was a giant and had lots of powers. And he could suck his thumb because he ate some magic salmon or something, salmon of knowledge, and he could suck his thumb and be able to see the future and the past and the present all at once. So that's all very interesting. I'm not sure if all of these, like Fingal and all these legendary people had telepathy. Oh yes, so Fingal had a magic form of cosmic insight. Whenever he chewed or sucked his thumb, his mind could see things far away, read hidden truths, perceive people's secret motivations. This makes sense. That he is my ancestor. And I can't read my writing. These people were the bright people. The bright people. Anyway, so that's the next kind of chapter. I kind of liked this one a bit better because it wasn't so intense. But I think it's all to do with language and actual understanding of what's going on. I don't think we can even understand it with spoken language because the spoken language is just an anti-language. And it's not the full capacity of language. And spoken language is even, and written language is even a condensed form of the anti-language, as well as Cockney rhyming slang and the whistle language. Those are condensed forms of a spoken language, even though it's still spoken. But written language is even a further condensed form. So it's just condensing and condensing and condensing. All language is made up. We made up everything. And it's just an anti-language. It's all made up. Sometimes I think like, oh God, okay, it's like... Sometimes, people say, oh, you can't say that. It's not a proper English word. I'm like, what do you mean a proper English word? It's all made up. All of it's made up. It's like saying a Cockney rhyming slang, like one of my students made up a Cockney rhyming slang, which was soup and spoon is moon. So we now say, look at the soup. So we say, look at the soup for the moon. That's not a proper Cockney rhyming slang. That is from the Cockney Times. That's something that this kid made up based on how you make up the anti-language. You can't then say, you can't say that because that's not proper rhyming slang. It's all made up. You can't just make things up. It's all made up. It's all made up. So I just can't stand that when people say you can't say that and you can't. That's not a proper word. None of it's a proper word. It's all made up. From telepathy, maybe. It's pretty convincing to me at this point. No, but he's right. We can't even understand the actual truth of the universe because we're trying to understand the truth of the universe by using an anti-language, which is not what it's designed for. It's designed for urgent messages. Well, coded messages just to be able to function without being found out, not to understand the mysteries of the universe. So we're never even going to understand it with spoken language. We can't. It's condensed. I don't know what the answer is then, though. Because this is the only language we know, right? I mean, even when I hear spirit talking, it's talking to me in words because it's the only thing that we know now. We only know Cockney rhyming slang. We only know the anti-language. I would like to know more about this. Anyway, that's all I have for now, and this has gone on long enough anyway. Bye!